What an awesome group. Guys, I didn't even know about this event 8 days ago. So I got to give it up to Nate Lambert. Nate is the one that got me here. We were having a conversation about something completely unrelated, and he gave me the invite. And as I started connecting with this group and talking to Tim, I could see the value here. And of course, I wanted to sponsor. I wanted to be able to connect with more people. You could see with my bands, I'm kind of a extroverted introvert, right? I can speak on stage, but then sometimes you'll just see me in the back of the room. Sometimes I forget to fix my resting angry face, so people just, think I'm unapproachable. Please approach me. Love to connect with all of you guys. And got to find my clicker over here. I'm going to start with a contest. So, who wants $100? Some people want $100. Okay. So, whoever sends me the best picture of me on stage, I'm going to give you $100. I will announce it in the social media, the social media group that you guys created. I will share the picture and ask for your Venmo so you guys can keep me accountable, okay? So whoever sends the best picture of me on stage, I'll Venmo you $100, or if you don't have Venmo, we'll find another way to get it to you, because I'll be back in Utah tomorrow. So, guys, I would love to jump into a lot of my story, but I don't have a lot of time in here. But I will say that I was the least likely. If you guys knew me when I was younger, as my mentor, one of my mentors, my first mentor that I paid, 5 figures for, he said, I'm the least likely who became the most likely. What I mean by that is, my dad died when I was 10 years old. I became angry at the world, and I was absolutely headed down a wrong path. And I have many of my friends that did not make it out of that path. I have friends that are alcoholics. I have friends that are dead, literally from violence. I have friends that have gone to prison, some still in prison. And I'm from Utah, right? Does that even happen in Utah? I think a lot of people just think it's a whole bunch of very do-gooders. And I am super grateful for the culture in Utah. However, there is a darker side of it, and I was kind of living in that. Not that I was a bad guy. I wasn't out there, harming people purposely, but I ran with a crowd that was pretty rough. And usually, if you win fights, then people want to continue to test that. Anyways. Got kicked out of every school after grade school, went to an alternative school, graduated a half year late, went into steel fabrication, which is, I think, probably one of the roughest breeds of construction. I mean, the people there, same path, right? A lot of the people that I was working next to were ex-cons and, were dealing with, lots of just difficult situations. I didn't have really an understanding of how to do anything better with my life, but with and through all of that, when I was 17 years old, I realized, and I came to this conclusion, that if I wanted a lifestyle that was worth living, so to speak, I had to own real estate. And that came from all of the parents and adults that I saw that were able to provide vacations and ATVs and all of those things to their kids. They all owned real estate. And so I set out on that path. And back when there were still newspapers, you guys remember those things, newspapers? Flip through them. I was going to the newspapers. I was seeing the full spread ads for the seminars, and I started going to seminars when I was literally still in high school, right? Trying to figure it out. And I've already spent too much time on my story, but luckily I didn't continue down the one path. I've been a full-time real estate investor since I was 22 years old, and really grateful for the opportunity. But when I was 24 years old and I had $1 million net worth with me and my business partner and thought I was, approaching the top of the world's success, I was going to be buying actually multifamily right here in Texas. We had multiple properties that would have literally set us free in June of 2007. If anybody understands that timing, all of that quickly turned around. And so I'm spending too much time on me. So let me just say, the last couple of years, I've had a really cool opportunity. I've built multiple communities of real estate investors, and I was just on a new path, trying to figure out where I fit in real estate. I call myself a recovering flipper. So I got out of the flipping game, and I had to figure out what was the longer-term strategy. And as I was building a real estate business, I got a call from Michael Anderson. Michael Anderson built a company called Real Source. He's been syndicating real estate for over 40 years. So literally, while I was preparing for that most important race of my life, beat out millions of others, right? He was already syndicating real estate. Nobody got that joke, but it's okay. Michael Anderson built a company called RealSource. They did over $7 billion worth of real estate syndication, and he sold that company about 6 years ago with over $1 billion in assets under management. He sold it thinking he was going to retire, but he's an entrepreneur. And if any of you guys think that you're doing this so that you can just sit around all day at some point in time in your life, you can do that now. You're probably entrepreneurs, and sitting around all day is not really in your future. So he lasted all of about a half a cigar before he decided he wanted to start creating solutions for the passive investors, the people that he served over 40 years. And one of the biggest things that he hated about real estate syndication is the lack of liquidity. He says 7 out of 10 people that came to him and said, I love your deal, I trust you, I want to be invested with you, wouldn't invest simply because they didn't know if they could tie up their money for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever the time frame of that particular deal was. So he went out there searching for solutions. He didn't find one, so he created a team of us to go create a solution for that lack of liquidity for the passive investor. And we launched the Listing Hub. The Listing Hub is a classified site for LPs to be able to liquidate their interest in a real estate transaction. So if you're an operator and you've ever gotten that call where wife has cancer, or they just got a divorce, or maybe they just on the list for the new Ferrari, right? That was oftentimes Mike. He was in that racing world. It usually puts a lot of pressure on you. We want to relieve that pressure by allowing them to go list on the open marketplace. And when we did so, we knew that we had to go connect with these people. How were we going to do it? A lot of the things that you guys have learned, I mean, it's been so relieving to be back there in the room and listen to all of these strategies that are tried and true. You got to go out there. You got to spread the word. So we spent a couple $100,000 building out a podcast studio, and we started bringing in real estate sponsors. We know that you are the influencers to the limited partners, right? And with this, we have a sponsor approval process that we take people through before we feature them on our platform. We don't just want to highlight anybody. There's got to be a standard. And some of the bigger capital raising platforms out there figured this out recently. I'm sure some of you have heard about some of the things that have happened. And every time something like that happens to a bunch of passive investors, it hurts the industry as a whole, right? So some of the people you guys might recognize, I tried to put some names. Sebastian Post with Lionheart Strategic, that's an offset of the Fisher brothers. So Tim mentioned the Fisher brothers, 50 billion plus. This guy has been a part of over $6 billion in capital deployed. Ryan Gibson with Spartan Investment Group, awesome operators in the self-storage space. Local guys, Disrupt Equity, Ferris Musa, good friend, love what they're doing. Neil Bawa has always been a great friend of ours. Man, if you guys ever get to spend a day driving around with Neil Bawa a whole day, it is an excellent experience. He is genius. The things that he can hold in his mind are out of this world. You could talk to him about anything from like dental practices all the way up to, whatever you want. What we also did, though, is we created a fund, the PREIshare Liquidity Fund, because we want to create instant liquidity for those passive investors. And this little site right here that we launched for our fund to go connect with passive investors, we didn't know. Can you connect with these people online? If we launch a typical ad that you would do to market any other business, can you connect with them? Well, we found our superpower, and that is connecting with passive accredited investors online. With our first $10 million tranche, we had about $35 million in verbal commitments before we had any product to buy. So, since we didn't have the product yet, and we were going to stick true to our methods, we decided to do it for others. Chris Robinson, we got him over 700 leads in 120 days. He has multiple of those investors. His original target was $3 to $5 million. You have multiple of those investors that are investing $3 to $5 million with him. So we brought in another super powerhouse to take us to the next level. John knows Kat. She has scaled multiple businesses. She has been raising capital through marketing for over 30 years and is responsible for billions of dollars. So can I really quickly just show you something that I'm pretty proud of that my team has put together? It's 1 minute, and I know I have 2 seconds, but can I get that permission? Okay.
Find the passive accredited investor that is specifically interested in the type of transaction they're doing. In fact, not even just the type of transaction they're doing, but their specific deal.
What if you could bypass the hassle and directly connect with accredited investors ready to fund your deals? PREIshare is the leading solution for syndicators looking to streamline their capital raising efforts and grow their investor pool. With our partner's history of over $7.3 billion in transactions and a management team that has managed over $1 billion in assets, we bring unparalleled expertise.
We were doing pretty good at paying $3,500. I can't believe today that you guys are getting the same quality of investors for $150. That to me is mind-boggling. What a great time to be a sponsor if you know how to get that kind of lead generation.
Imagine receiving a steady stream of accredited investor leads, each one interested not just in your project type, but in your specific project, all captured with professional cinematic precision. Plus, our premium services include professional video production and brand-enhancing social media content strategically positioned across every key social platform, ensuring you stand out in a crowded market. But here's the catch. This opportunity is limited. We're selecting only a small, exclusive group of real estate syndicators for our premium lead generation service. Don't miss out. Schedule your strategy call today.
All right, when I say it's limited, that's not just the marketing side of me saying that. We can literally take on we can only onboard 3 sponsors at a time. One of those is already taken. We were just in Florida with the Tricor group documenting what they're doing. If you guys will help me break that website so that my team can make sure that we've worked out all the bugs, I'm going to do something for you. 1 hour mentoring with Michael Anderson. Now, it's not each of you get 1 hour personally, but this is going to be one-on-one mentoring in a group session, and only people from this event are going to be on this call. We're not going to promote it to anybody else. Again, Michael Anderson, over $7 billion in real estate transactions. If you guys will just simply go to that site, fill out your information. If you're not interested in the marketing, we're totally cool with that. It's broken. You guys already broke it. Okay, well then, lpleads.com/hero. Give me an hour. I'm going to go talk to my team. We're going to get it fixed. lpleads.com/hero. If you guys will go there, then you guys will be able to, and it's purely casual, only the questions you want. Mike is not there to tell you anything except what you want to know. Thanks, everybody.